Hello, everybody. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Now I get my button. Oh my gosh, I thought Facebook changed it again where I couldn't get to my button. Let's see if it'll let me now. Nope, it goes into effects instead of switching the camera around. Oh my gosh, I really think they try to make us absolutely crazy. Every time. Hi, Patty. I'm glad you're tuned in, and I know I'm backwards, but once again, Facebook changed it, and now the button's not working that I've always used. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get to comments on my computer and all that. If you'll be patient with me, unlike what I am with Facebook right now. Oh my goodness, so I may not even be able to switch the camera down and y'all see anything, or it may be all upside down. Good grief. Okay, I'm gonna click the live here and get my volume off. Heavens, heavens, heavens. Okay, that didn't work. We'll go there. Every day's a new day. And we'll see who else is watching while I get going here. Let me get the iPad going. Every day's who else is watching while Oh my goodness. Okay, I've got comments here. Hi Lisa, glad you're tuning in. Looks like it's going to be a technical difficulty night. It's not letting me get to the button that lets me switch my camera. So, I don't know. We're going to try this again. Let me get going on my computer here so I can see comments. Now, that part's working at least. Okay, we're going to show you some paper pumpkin alternatives from the October kit. And y'all hang with me a minute. We'll see if some others get on. And let me try my button one more time. Nope. The button that used to let me reverse the camera is now trying to get me to do special effects. I think they're trying to turn into Instagram or something. I don't know. Hi, Vicki. I'm Kelley Pitts, Stampin Up independent demonstrator since 2005. Glad you've tuned in. But Facebook has changed things again. I don't know if they were trying to get me to add my Instagram account to this when I hit the live button. So I am not able to hit the buttons that I usually am. They're there on the screen, but they're not working. So let me see here. Let's see. All I'm getting is effects and nothing else. So I don't know if y'all saw effects or not. Let's see. Hi, Susan. I was just telling everybody Facebook has changed again. I don't know what the deal is, but my button that lets me reverse things so that y'all don't have to see it backwards is not working. I'm going to try it one more time. In fact, I'm going to try it. Well, no, it's not going to work on my computer because I started this on my phone. You know, I don't know why you think if you try things 10 times in a row, you're going to get a different result than you did the first time just because your fingers are crossed. I'm glad you've tuned in, Susan and Patty and Lisa. Glad to have y'all. Let's see. Instead of, I can tell that stuff is backwards. Y'all are seeing it backwards like I am on my phone, right? The Create with Kelley in the background. That's all reversed. So, let's see what happens when we turn the camera down. Let's see if I can do anything with the camera then. Instead of holding stuff up where you see it backwards, we'll see how this goes. I don't think it's going to let me though, but we'll see. Thanks, Susan. Yep, it's going to stay upside down. Lovely. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to do, girls. Because if it won't let me switch it, I don't see how y'all are going to see anything unless I turn... Let's see. Let's see if I switch that one. What happens? Hello, Glenn. Glad you've tuned in. I'm having major difficulties. Yep, see, that doesn't work. Okay. Facebook has changed the buttons again, or has changed access to them, or something. The buttons are there, they're just not working. So everything is backwards. Let's see. I'm going to turn my phone upside down. Y'all are going to see some crazy stuff, so don't watch if you get seasick. Yes, Facebook is playing with everybody. It's really frustrating. Nope, still shows effects there on the one we used to do. Now let's see what happens if we do this. I've got my phone turned upside down in my... Okay, praise the Lord. Thank you very much. That is at least the right way now. Okay, so we'll adjust that. And... Of course, I can't see much of anything, but that's okay. As long as y'all can see, that's what counts, right? Sorry about this. I have to... Hi, Mary. I'm so glad you've tuned in. We are having major technical difficulties tonight because Facebook changed everything again. And you think from one week to the next, everything will be fine. But nope, they change it. So I think they've got something wrong with their buttons because the buttons are still there. The problem in the past has been that the buttons disappeared. But now the buttons are there, they're just not accessing what they're supposed to. So we'll just do the best we can with this. But I'll tell you a little bit about Paper Pumpkin. This is a kit from Stampin Up. That is a monthly craft kit that comes in the mail, and it's a surprise. They kind of give you some hints each month of what it's going to be, whether it'll be cards or it will be a 3D item or what. So it's usually comes in a bright orange box, but this time we had a special Christmassy box for October. It's called Peaceful Christmas. And each month the kit comes with instructions on how to make whatever is in the kit. And they have really gotten really great about their instructions. It gives you detailed information, full color instructions, exactly what to stamp, how to put your glue on, everything, step by step on all the different cards. And it even has a ruler for you to be able to cut out your ribbon. All you really need to make the kit like it shows is just a pair of scissors. But, of course, since I'm a demonstrator and I have all kinds of awesome products, as a lot of you do, I would like to show you alternatives. It even gives you some alternatives on the back of the kit, the back of the instructions, that is. Tells you everything that comes in the kit, and each month you get a stamp set that is a photopolymer clear stamp set. The first time you get one, it comes with a block that you mount the stamps to, but here's the stamp set for this time. Let's give you a plain white background. It has the Merry Christmas, Peaceful Christmas wishes, wishing you and your family all the best, sending you peace and joy all year long, to you and yours, holiday cheer, and from our home to yours, as well as the awesome Christmas trees and the snowflakes. So you get this entire set. Hi, Mary Ellen. Hi, Tanya. Glad y'all have tuned in. Oh, good. All the videos today. Thanks, Glenn, for letting me know that I'm not the only one that's messed up here. We'll do what we can. But each month you'll get a Stampin' Spot in a different color, and then you'll get the stamp set itself and all the supplies to make whatever's on the instructions, as I said. And this month, I'm going to show you the alternatives. I'm glad I figured out how to switch that on the phone. That's great. Okay, what I'm going to show you is a box full of goodies. Let's see, let me get the instructions back out so you can see, kind of compare what they did to what I did. And I used on this card, they had a full, the base of the card that you got 5 of these cards and 5 of the solid green cards. And this base actually was kind of the same scene continued onto the back. So I cut that immediately in half so that I could get 10 cards out of that instead of 5, and just put it on the card base myself. And then I'm going to show you how I cut up the envelopes so that I could make multiple cards. And then this Noel, the green bases, I did use in a very similar fashion to this. I just changed it up a little bit. I wanted to be able to add, whoops, sorry. I see I'm off screen there. Sorry about that. I wanted to add a little more of the cherry cobbler color that the banner is. It's kind of between cherry cobbler and real red for those of you who are Stampin' Up aficionados. So that's the cards as they presented them. And I just wanted to kind of give it an elegant look with just leaving the black and white color scheme. So I stuck with, instead of using the red and green tags on there, I stuck with this color scheme, and I think it is just gorgeous on just a thick whisper white or thick basic white cardstock. And here is the other half of that scene. Once you cut the card base in half, you actually cut it a little bit smaller. This would be cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. And originally, of course, it is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So I know this is a little difficult to read with the black on the gray, but I really think it looks elegant, and I just liked it better than sticking a white label or something up there in the sky and not having it balanced. But if you have a problem with the reading of it, then I get it. I understand. Put a label on there and do it however you want. You can punch that out with some pretty edges, or make a little circle, cut a little circle die and stamp that. It'd be pretty. But this was enough. As I said, I made 5 of each of these cards. And so I've stretched that to 10. And then it's also pretty with just the Merry Christmas, but I really thought this looked peaceful. So I liked the peaceful Christmas wishes that came in the kit. So that's what I did with the black organdy glitter ribbon that is in the annual catalog, and use that on all of them. I wouldn't even think of using black for Christmas, but I just thought it was beautiful with this paper. And this suite of paper, or this paper pumpkin, coordinates with a suite that's in the catalog, the mini catalog, called Peaceful Cabin. And I thought I had that out a minute ago, and now I don't have it. So I'll show you later when I find it. But I did give it a try to do a little color, and I'm not sure how this shows up on the screen. We'll see. Yeah, it shows up actually more on the screen than it does in person. And what I did was take the blending brushes, and I went over the sky with Night of Navy, and then I just kind of lightly went over the trees with Shaded Spruce with the blending brush. If y'all haven't seen our blending brushes, I can show you one. Right here. This is a new one, of course, so it's not doesn't have the green on there, and they do stain, but you can wash them. So you just lightly tap into your ink pad and then stamp off onto some grid paper or scratch paper, and then rub it onto the card. But I really, as I said, I like the black and white better, I decided. So, oh yeah, Tanya, those are the black buffalo check ribbon. That is a pretty ribbon too. That would be gorgeous. Or this, yeah, the white or silver. You could, I just my heat gun is not working that well right now, so I didn't do the embossing on them because I need to send these out. Okay, those were the simple ones. Now we're going to compare the Noel card. I gotta hold it up here. There's like a 7-second delay or something, so I can see where I am. But with this card, I changed it up, and all I did basically that's different is I put these trees, the vellum trees, through an embossing folder, the evergreen embossing folder. Let me show you that. While y'all are looking at this comparison, I will show you that embossing folder. I left it over by the emboss machine, I think. Or somewhere. All right. I'm not seeing it at the moment, but the one with the evergreen trees, it's a 3D embossing folder, is what I used on those. And I stamped the trees in the background that came in the set, but I really think this makes a big difference when you add that layer of cherry cobbler. And I'm going to show you what I did on the banner also, because to me the banners that came in the kit aren't exactly cherry cobbler, and they're not exactly real red. So I really liked the cherry cobbler with that color green. So I'll show you what I did. I took my blends markers, and you can use I think I used the light, but we're going to try the dark this time. I'm just going to get a piece of scratch paper here to do this on. We'll leave our card here. But as you can see, this is cherry cobbler, and this is the banner that came in the kit that I believe they said was real red. Let's see. It says coordinating colors on the back. Yeah, it shows real red, but real red to me is quite a bit brighter. So in order to make this more this color, I used the brush tip end of my blend, and I just went over it like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to show a line, so if you're not even all the way, you just do it like that. And then when it dries, it will look just a lot like the cherry cobbler. Okay, so that was one easy fix, I thought, to get it to look the way I wanted, because it just wasn't the same color to me. So that's what I did to fix that. You can do that easily, and we do have the Stampin' Blends in a lot of the colors. They're not in every color, but those are all in the annual catalog, the Stampin' Up catalog, and I am happy for you to shop with me. If you need some Stampin' Blends, or if you need any of the other products that I'm using on these kits. And I don't know if I mentioned that the Paper Pumpkin kits are only available through the 10th of each month, unless they have some left over. And this one, they did not. So you have to order before you really see the full kit in order to get it. But I just wanted to show a lot of you out there are my subscribers, and I wanted to give you some alternatives. Also, another little tip was when I use a piece of paper this big, a piece of cardstock, the size of this card, the cherry cobbler, I just feel like that's such a waste to just cover it up. So I cut out this scalloped contoured die out of the cherry cobbler before I mounted it on here. Let's see. I'll show you. And if we have time after I show you all these cards, I will, I was going to make one of these on air. But, so it comes out like this. This is what I actually mounted. I have the green card base that came in the kit, and then I mounted this, and then I stamped the trees onto the green. I pulled it out. This is the little template. This is how the dies come. And I also wanted to show you another little tip on these, if you feel like sometimes you can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but it has the little white jagged things that we're connecting it to the piece of paper. And some people sand those off, but sometimes you get white. When you're sanding, you can sand off some of the color on top, because this designer series paper is just white on the back. The cardstock and the paper pumpkin kits, in order to make them really reasonable, which it's only $22 a month, including shipping, to get the paper pumpkin kit. The cardstock is not the highest quality that we get normally in the catalog. So I just wanted to let you know that. And it's still great quality, but it's not wonderful like our other cardstock is. So since you have these little tags on here, or whatever you want to call them, little lumpy bumpies, instead of shaving them off, I take a marker in the coordinating color, and this is just our Stampin' Right marker. You couldn't really do this with the blends that are our alcohol markers, unless you're really, really careful with it, because the blends will bleed a little bit. So you could end up in a mess if you do that. So anytime you're pulling stuff off like this one, you would use the smoky slate marker. So if you've got a problem with those little tags, or you don't want that white edge showing, that's all you do, is grab a coordinating marker, go along the edge, and poof, they're gone. So this, as I said, I would stamp the trees on here, and I can do that real quickly if you want, but we'll come back to it. I've got several cards to show you. I want to make sure I share all the tips with you. Then if you're going to put a ribbon, you would put it on at this point before you glue this down. I glued this straight down, and then I actually dimensional this. I put Stampin' Dimensionals behind that layer to pop this layer up after I stamped the trees. And then I use the gray paper. This is like a smoky slate, and it has a background printed on it like our timber embossing folder. It looks like kind of like bark. And you can use the trees as they are, the vellum, or you can run it through an embossing folder that looks like bark or looks like trees, and it comes out like this. And I was not as careful as I should have been on I didn't wait for my ink to dry on the trees that I stamped. So when I use the glue, normally liquid glue does show through vellum. But with all the texture in here, I wasn't really as worried about it, because I didn't really think that you'd be able to tell that the glue was back there. But it showed a little bit more than I thought it would, because my ink was wet on the trees. So thank you, Janice. I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. I think you're the one that won a week or two ago, and I don't have your address. I was going to send you a card for sharing. And Janice, if you'll let me know your address, that would be great. If you're the one who won, I think you are. Okay, back to this. If you'll be a little more careful, wait till this ink dries so that the ink itself doesn't bleed behind the tree. You won't have too much trouble with the glue. But I didn't glue it. See, in other places, I kind of left it standing. So to me, it still looks fine. I think it shows even more on camera than it does when you're looking at the card. But these jewels that came in this kit, I hope Stampin' Up! Starts carrying those. They are just gorgeous. Do y'all agree? Have y'all tried that? I mean, have you seen these? Those of you who have a kit, they're like holographic almost. They're so sparkly. It's unbelievable. Let me see if I can get it up there where y'all can see it. Now my camera's in a different spot. Can you see that? It's like a kaleidoscope lens or something. Crazy. Beautiful. And then the Noel is in foil. So that's all you do, really, is if you stamp the trees, run the trees through the vellum, and then do it just like, kind of like they had it, with the Noel on there, like that. And there you have it. That's the way you do it. And then you save this. I will use it for another card. I'll show you that next. Okay. let's put this all together in here so I won't lose it, because I'm going to add this to my Christmas cards that I finally started making this weekend. I made 29 of these cards getting ready for this video. Not 29 designs that I'm going to show you tonight. I made all the multiples we could make. So you can make 5 of these out of the kit because you have 5. Well, it was initially designed for you to make 5, and all I did was add the cherry cobbler to it basically and the texture. So then you cut this out of the cherry cobbler, and then you'll use for that piece, I made this card with the peaceful Christmas wishes, and I used the little circle. This came out of the kit and they used it on the other card, and I did not. So I had 5 of these, and I cut with the scallop contour, the layering circles dies. These right here, layering circles dies, 151770. If y'all need circles, Stampin' Up doesn't have the punches anymore in the different sizes, but these layering circles are just awesome because you get so many different ones, and each of the plain circles layers onto a scallop circle. It's just beautiful. And these are in our annual catalog, which you can find online. If you go to my createwithkelley.com and click shop, it will take you to the catalogs. Okay, and then the scalloped contours dies is what I use, this one here, the second largest, to cut this out. The second or third? Yeah, maybe the third. I think it's the second. Okay, so those are scalloped contour dies, are 155560 if y'all wanted that item number, if that's something you're interested in. Okay, and then I'll move this one out of the way. So I use this, as I said, that I cut out of the other one. And then I used a label punch for this one that's in our annual catalog. Let me see if I have the name of it here. No, I do not. I'm trying to label my punches. I'm getting that done. It's just one more thing on my list. But I could find it for you in the annual catalog if y'all are interested. It is still a current punch. Let's see. The other item that I used was an embossing folder that is in the mini catalog. It comes with a pair of the small embossing folders that will go through our mini Stampin' Emboss machine. And it is like evergreen boughs. So here it is on the inside. Isn't that pretty? It's pretty on both sides, whether you have the emboss side or the deboss side. And I stamped the trees on the inside. I just stamped it once here and then came up close and stamped it on the other side and did the little greeting. And both of those are from the Paper Pumpkin kit. And then I'm going to show you how to cut the envelope up so that you can use it. They are beautiful envelopes. Here's the envelope, but it has the beautiful foil on the front. And then it has all the buffalo check inside, a full piece of it, so that you could use it for cards. And that's what I decided I wanted to do. I'm just going to use regular white envelopes and stamp the trees on it, and nobody will be the wiser because they won't keep the envelope. They'll just keep the card. So I'll show you where I got these pieces, but those came out of the inside of that envelope, if that makes sense. Okay, so this was an extra piece that I didn't use. These came from the envelope, and this came from the other side of the inside of that last rectangle. Okay, and this one I just made today because I was determined to use these pieces that were left over out of the kit to show you. Alrighty, now I've got another one that is made. This one, as you can see, is made from the negative. If you count these trees in vellum as the positive space, this would be the negative space. This was just a square that these vellum trees popped out of. So I really kind of wanted to So you have 5 of these also. You'll be able to make 5 of these if you do it this way. And I stamped several rows of those trees that came in the kit. You saw them earlier. Here's the stamp right here, if y'all can tell anything about that on camera. Don't think so, but that's what I stamped the trees on the inside of that other one with. And I just stamped them in the shaded spruce back there, so they would give kind of a cool artsy background. I thought it kind of looked a little artsy back behind those trees. Thank you, Janice. And then I used our oval punch that will barely fit the Merry Christmas on there. I mean, barely. You have to hold your tongue just right to get that to work. But you stamp the Merry Christmas and punch out the white on the oval, and then the scallop is on the same. It's called a double oval punch, and it's in our annual catalog. All right, and then this buffalo check ribbon or gingham black and white ribbon came from the holiday mini. And these pieces are part of the envelope also that I'm going to show you in a few minutes when I cut that out. And then on the inside of this one, I just put the trees at the bottom and sending you peace and love all year long. You can stamp anything from the paper pumpkin kit or any greetings that you have on the inside. But since there was so much green on the outside and not a lot of white, I made the white piece on the inside a little bit smaller. Normally, I do just a 1/8 border all the way around, but this one I did a 1/4 inch. So a 1/4 inch on each side. So there you go. There's that one. And I made 5 of those. Or, yeah, I've already made 5. Oh, and I was going to show you this alternative also. This was another tip. One of these, when I ran the trees through the embossing folder, in 3D embossing folder, I ran the entire square with the trees still in it. So I have the background here of the vellum with the trees. But I decided, after looking at it, I decided I liked just the plain background better. So I punched the trees out, pulled them out of the little die cut, and then ran just the trees through the embossing folder, okay? This one, I ran it all together before I punched the trees out. So y'all can choose whichever one you like if you decide you want to make a version of this card. I also used the matte black dots. I thought that just kind of really set it off there, having those little dots on there. Let's see if I can get this close enough for you to see. Okay, and this is another one of my designs. I usually I watch a bunch of videos, but then I just make up my own most of the time. But this probably needs to be trimmed a little bit before we put it in the envelope. But other than that, I think we're good to go. Okay, so we have 5 of those. And now we've got, let's see, this little Merry Christmas. And these are, yes, you guessed it, from the envelope. This, I cut the envelope at 3 inches from the bottom. I'm actually gonna cut this one up for you in a minute and show you kind of all the steps of how to do it. But you can tell that that's from there, and that the inside buffalo check is from the inside of the envelope. And all I did was add the little black and white gingham ribbon, and I just think that makes a pretty card, and it's very simple, and anybody could do it. And you could do it with various designer series paper and just use this format, or you could make a smaller version of this by stamping on green the shaded spruce cardstock, stamp in Versamark, and emboss it with silver, and that would be a very similar look to this. Yes, Tanya, I agree. I just think those are too pretty to be on an envelope that would just be thrown away. So that, since you had five of each of the 2 design cards that they put in the kit, you actually had 10 envelopes like this. So I've made 10 of these card bases. And I got a little carried away a few minutes ago with the snowflakes here. I would suggest probably doing a fewer of those, but I kind of like the black, and then this is stamped in fully, and then this is stamped off. And just kind of did a little pattern and stamped the trees and the sending you peace and love, peace and joy all year long. And this is just your typical 1/8 inch border all the way around. So that's all that is. Easy peasy. You can make 10 of those. And actually you can make 10, you can make 5 exactly like this with this label. And this is the label punch. It matches the Label Me Fancy, I believe. We're going to find that in the catalog real quick so I don't misinform you. But I did not have it. Yes, Label Me Fancy is what punches out that exact size, and that is on my wish list, and I haven't ordered it yet. So I substituted with the scallop part of the double oval punch and used it instead. So there's the 2 versions of that card. So I have 5 of these with the little label that came in the kit, and it has the silver foil on it, so it is gorgeous. I was glad I was able to get to that point without messing those up and not being able to use that side of my label, but that's a little closer up. Simple, simple. So I have 10 of those cards right there. Then I have one more card, and I haven't finished the inside yet, but this is a Z-fold card. So all you do is you've got your typical 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So when it's open, it's 11 inches this way. So you've got 4 1/4 by 11. And all I did was run it through the embossing folder. That's the snowflake folder that I told you paired with the evergreen boughs folder. And they are small. And I would recommend putting just a piece of the real red cardstock and then putting a white piece inside of it to kind of give it a pop against this white background. But you could just stamp your greeting here and sign your name, do your Merry Christmas, do your whatever on there. But you just simply fold this backwards. You just score that at half of 5 1/2, which would be 2 3/4, I believe. Yes, 2 3/4 is where that's scored. So you just run this embossing folder through here, and the embossing folder, or run this through the embossing folder over on this side. Then I took the evergreen trees embossing folder and took part of the envelope that you can see right here. This is exactly what I used. This curve right here is this curve right here from the envelope. So I'm going to cut one up. Like I said, I'll do that next and show you just how to get to that point. And all I did was lay that on a piece of real red cardstock that was a little bit bigger. I just made the square a little bit bigger, cut it out, and then I laid this green piece on it, and I just used my paper trimmers and fussy cut that right along that edge, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of follow the same curve, and that was it. I liked the fact on this, when you normally use our shaded spruce or any of our cardstocks, they are colored all the way through. As I was talking about the quality of our cardstock. And that's normally 90% of the time, 99% of the time probably, that's a plus, that it is colored all the way through. You don't have to worry about white showing if you tear it or do anything. But in this instance, on the Paper Pumpkin kit, since this is the envelope, and the envelope is lighter on the inside, it's not colored all the way through. Then when I ran it through the embossing folder, a little white showed, which I thought looked like snow on the trees. So I just took, you can take your fingernail, you can see that you can scratch a little more snow. You could use a take your pick tool, you could use your bone folder, whatever you want to do, and make as much snow on those trees as you want. Can you see how that's changing that and making those a little bit more snowy? And that's because it has the white on the inside of that cardstock that's in the Paper Pumpkin kit. That's a lighter weight cardstock so that it's not dyed all the way through. But isn't that pretty? But I just really, the Real Red ribbon is what came in the kit. So this one is stamped in Real Red, and this is a little Real Red matte, I guess. Thank you, Glenn. I'm glad. You can watch the replay to get the rest of it if you want. All right, let's see. Yes, Tanya, that's true. Fingernail file would be great. Or if you have one of those little sanding blocks, that would be great too. Susan, I'm glad you like it. Thank you, and thanks for sharing. So that's the way that opens. That's it. So those are all of my cards. Now I'm going to show you how to, if you wanted to make this kind of this set of cards so that you have all the pieces for these except for the solid cardstock, I will show you how to get there. Okay, did we just have 5? Let's see, I've got one of those, got one of those, one of those, one of those, one of those. I think that's it. Which one is your favorite, everybody? Do you have one? Do you like the... We can cover all this up at the moment so y'all can see everything. Which one do you like? The gate, this would be a gatefold. You could call that gatefold, or foil trees, Noel, reverse vellum, I guess, or the peaceful, or embossed trees, I guess. I don't know which one to call this. Z-fold. Let's call that one the Z-fold. Y'all let me know in the comments, if you would, which one you like the most. Z-fold, vellum reverse, Noel, silver foil, or gatefold. What's your favorite? What's your favorite? And while y'all are doing that, I'm gonna pick these up and get my trimmer out so I can show you how to cut the envelope for these pieces. Just in case you have this kit and want to do that. And if anybody needs measurements, you can let me know. I'll be glad to try to figure that out for you. Okay, we are going to get our Stampin' trimmer, which is right here. And as I said, the way I work as a Stampin' Up demonstrator full-time now is based on customers like you, or prospects like you, prospective customers who are checking out the crafting world and checking out the Stampin' Up world. And I am happy to help you anytime. You can just give me a call or at 806-790-0061, or you can email me at Kelley, K-E-L-L-E-Y, at createwithkelley.com, and I'll be glad to explain the Paper Pumpkin to you or help you with any of your shopping needs. And we also, I have a wish list I would love to send you that you can fill out and have your Santa, actually, you can put your Santa's name on there where I can contact them and let them know that I have something that you would love to own. Wouldn't that be awesome? Instead of sometimes your friends, family, spouses may not get you the Christmas present that you dreamed of. And a lot of times it's just because they don't know what you would like. So we can fix that easily by having you fill out a wish list. And then you never know until Christmas if any of your Santas have gotten in contact with me and which items they've chosen. You just put a bunch of items down that you would like to have, and then you'll be surprised on Christmas. Doesn't that sound fun? Y'all let me know if you want a wish list. I'll be glad to send you one, like I said. Okay, now we're going to go and cut this envelope up. And I usually use the guillotine trimmer instead of this one. But because it's easier for me to do that, but I'm going to just shave off this edge right here. Missed one little part. We'll just tear that because we're going to tear that off anyway. So just trim that edge off so that it opens that up. And then I'm going to start down here, go up again. I like to push against this so that I know I've got a straight edge that it's pushing against, so it'll stay straight. So now you've got your envelope open. All right, now I'll cut this big flap off. And I try not to cut right on the score line, either this side or that side, whichever way you determine. But it does kind of tear up your blade more if you're trying to cut right on a score. So either way on that, cut that flap off. Here, I don't need that big old handle out there. Get rid of that. That'll be easier. Okay. Now, thank you, Kay. I am so glad I made my goal of full-time too. It's exciting. I'm just trying to figure out how to best use my time. Okay, we're going to cut on this side of that one, of that score line. So you've got this one big piece. And that is where we'll cut. I'm going to trim that up a little more. I forgot about that on that side. Okay. Whoop, see what I mean about my blade is, I bet I hit right on the score on that one. There we go. See? Sometimes what I say helps. So I'm hoping that is the case this time, so y'all don't mess up like that. I was telling you about it and then I did it. Okay, we did 3 inches on this one, which leaves this piece right here. And I'll show you where we use these. And I used this on this card, of course. So your card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is going to be 1/4 inch smaller. So I'm going to go down to 5 1/4 on this one, or did I go 1/8? Let's see. Yeah, 5 1/4. Okay, so we're cutting that at 5 1/4. And so it's 3 inches by 5 1/4. And then we'll cut this to 5 1/4. And I did see a video, I saw one very similar to this online, but they were turning the envelope over so that this was coming down like that. And I thought, well, I'll just cut it, and that way you've got more contrast there. You've got more of that green. So all you do there is take that and you'll glue these together. Whoops. I'll just move that for a sec here. I put one little bit of glue right along here and then made sure that it was, I laid it on here. I didn't glue this down now, okay? I have put the glue on the green and then I glued this top to it. So you've got a little bit of an overlap here, probably 1/8 of an inch. All right, then once you do that, you'll wrap your ribbon around it, unless you want the ribbon on the inside to show, which you certainly can. I did that on one of the cards just so you could see. You could decide which way you liked it. Or I thought I did, maybe I didn't. Okay, but you could do it either way. If you forget to do it here before you glue it down, it's okay. It's just going to show from the inside also. So however you want to do that is hunky-dory. And that's all I did, was tie the ribbon, tie a little bow in the ribbon and add the greeting. And we had this. All right. So that's where those pieces go. Now you've got, let's get the trimmer back out. Then I took this piece and I cut these little guys off right here. Now, just try to line this up where that curve, you can see it's cutting in this groove. And it's probably better, safer to get like a Post-it note to hold that down if it's small like this. But that's close enough for y'all to get the gist of it. Then I took my paper snips and just trimmed it up. How about that? I couldn't do that again in like 52 years if I tried. But sure enough, that that got right in the middle of the other scissor blade. I just trimmed right along that curve, and it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a handmade card. It doesn't have to be perfect. Y'all don't stress about it. It's supposed to be fun. Crafting is fun. Okay, so I just did that little curve. Just kind of tried to get that straight. So I did that on both of these pieces. I'll move this one more time. And these were the pieces that I used on, I'm narrowing it down here. Let's find that card. Here we go. So that's the one I used right there. See, you can see, I'll go ahead and cut that one off too so you can see exactly what I did. So one's for the top, one's for the bottom. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if they're exactly the same. They're going to be close enough, okay? So that's all I did was stamp the trees on the background, do the vellum after I had already punched out the trees, pop these up on dimensionals. I glued the vellum right here underneath. I glued a straight line here so that it wouldn't show. So none of this part of the vellum is glued, just right there underneath this so you can't see it, okay? And then pop these up. Then I popped up the white on the label and the label onto the vellum. And then I used a glue dot to glue the bow down. So that's using those pieces. Now we've got this piece left. And yes, indeed, I've already shown you that one. So that's what I used. That was this piece right here. And I just ran that through the embossing folder and then cut the red around it, like I said, the real red. And that's that one. And then this one, I straightened this up. I'll show you here. I cut this at right on this line, 1 1/4 is what that one was. 1 1/4. Hold that down or use your Post-it note, cut that. So you're cutting off this part that's got the glue on it. And you could make this a little bit wider if you wanted. And then I cut one of these straight. I followed the little buffalo check line on that end. And then I flipped it over and did 5 1/4. There. Okay, so you've got 10 envelopes. So you can make 5 of these cards. You're just going to put both of those on there. So that, I used all of that envelope, as y'all can see. And then these 5, as I said, were in the kit. So there you go. If you can rewind this and see how I cut that envelope up if you want to make this set of cards. You can certainly do it. And none of them are really difficult at all. It's just a matter of trying to maximize the use of your kit pieces and your envelope pieces to come up with as many cards as you can. So let's review. We can make 5 of these. We can make 10 of these. That's 15, right? We can make 10 of these, which is 25. We can make 5 of these, which is 30. We can make 5 of these, which is 35. And I think that's it, boys and girls. So 35 cards out of this one kit that was supposed to make 10 cards. Isn't that awesome? So all you'll need is some coordinating cardstock. And if you have the little, if you want to add rhinestones, if you want to, because you won't have enough rhinestones for all of them. Like I used on this one, I just used the basic rhinestones as a substitute, but that works just great. So if you don't have the particular dies, you could just use a rectangle, whatever. So I'm happy to share these with you and hope you've received some little hints that might be helpful. And if you're interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, I'd love to help you with that. And we currently have a sale going called the Seasonal Sale that has cardstock at 10% off. And it has, let's see, dyes are 20% and something, inks are 15%. So if y'all need help on that, I'll be glad to help you. If you would, please use my current host code NQ94AAA6 if you need to order something. If it's under $150, that really helps me out a lot. Thank you for, thanks Kay for that fun cards thing. I'll turn the camera up and say goodnight. Just, whoop. Oh, well, it's already in my, it's in my stand. So I'll have to take it all the way out and just hold it, I guess. Let's see here. And now I'll have to change my stand around since they're not, Facebook's messed me around here. Sorry for the really awkward transition. But thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the Create with Kelley crew. I really enjoyed being with you. I'll hold up my cards here, even though they're going to be backwards. Thanks for tuning in, and y'all please let me know if you need any help. I would love for you to shop with me online. And I've got classes coming up, so just holler if you're ready and in the mood to make Christmas cards. I'd love to help you with that. Y'all have a great evening and take care. Thanks again for being part of the Create with Kelley crew. Please share and let your crafty friends know that I would love to help them with classes or whatever. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Fun times ahead. Bye-bye.